You're training glutes 3 times per week, but still not seeing any results. What is going on? Hi, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Mel. In this week's video, we're going to be talking all about glute growth and troubleshooting some issues as to why growth might be slow or not happening at all. Keeping in mind that muscle growth is a process that does require a lot of patience, but it's also good to know that the things you're putting your time and energy into are actually going to give you a return. So without further ado, let's get into 3 reasons why your glutes aren't growing. Number 1, that might upset some people, so if you feel a little bit called out by this, it's probably something that you do need to hear. You're still doing junk volume and banded workouts. This is in the form of cable kickbacks and abductions and banded exercises such as clams, fire hydrants, donkey kicks, all the things that are adding very minimal load and resistance to your body. For muscle to grow, you need to give it enough of a stimulus to adapt to. If you're always doing bands or body weight, no matter how much it burns, if there isn't actually any load being placed on your body that is demanding more from it, it has no reason to change. You literally won't grow. Now, if you're thinking, but Mel, you do cable kickbacks, then yes, you are correct. I do utilize them, but always at the end of my session as an isolation accessory movement after I've done all my bigger, heavier lifts first. Lots of small accessory movements like these can't be the bulk of your session, and neither can banded work. Banded work is fantastic as activation, so use this stuff as warm-ups before going into the heavier weightlifting. And if you're sticking to banded bodyweight exercises because you are a bit apprehensive about doing something wrong or hurting yourself lifting heavier weights, then I completely emphasize and understand that and don't want to make you feel bad for sticking with what you're comfortable with. Your consideration for doing things right and properly is a really great quality to have, but sometimes when we're too rigid with that thinking, it can really hold us back. There is no expectation for you to start barbell squatting 60 kilos tomorrow. It's the whole process from the very beginning of learning how to lift heavier weights where your glutes also grow simultaneously, so you're never lifting beyond your means. And heavier lifting does not mean doing the most complicated stuff in the gym, because those exercises are usually the least effective anyway. All you need to do is get really good at the basics: hip thrust, squatting, lunging, pressing, and deadlifting, and focus on adding weights to those progressively. Number 2, you're not resting enough in between. More is not always better and won't get you to your result any faster. If anything, it can burn you out and slow you down. If you're training glutes or doing 3 dedicated leg days per week with anywhere between 6 to 7 exercises per session, it's likely you're doing far too much and you're affecting the quality of your execution. When you go into a big leg day and know that you have 6 to 7 exercises that you need to get through or survive, you are subconsciously going to pull back and pace yourself. Because you know if you go super hard from the beginning, you're not going to make it towards the end. This is where strength and quality drop off massively, but this is kind of the point. You are going to get so much more out of doing 4 to 5 exercises extremely well than holding back on those just to do 2 extra accessory exercises at the end, which aren't really contributing much. This in the long run is going to save you so much time and energy. If you're currently training glutes and legs 3 times per week, it's likely you're only allowing 1 day of rest between sessions. And especially if you're truly training hard, this is not enough turnaround time for recovery, and you're likely to go into your next session feeling under-recovered. Leg muscles are big, and when the exercises you're performing are quite demanding, they're going to need extra time. Allowing 2 days of rest in between and only doing 2 high-quality glute sessions with 4 to 5 exercises per week is going to be far better than 3 subpar glute sessions. Number 3, and you probably saw this coming, you're not eating enough to grow. Under-eating overall calories and especially protein is quite literally shooting yourself in the foot. You're putting in all this time and effort, but not doing the work outside of that to support your growth and recovery. Muscle requires more energy from the body to grow and maintain. If you want to grow more muscle, especially glutes, how do you expect to do that by eating exactly the same? Becoming too bulky or excessive fat gain definitely is a really common concern among women, but this process is actually a lot harder than it seems. It's very hard to accidentally become jacked and bulky. This process requires a very well planned and consistent surplus phase to achieve this kind of result. And as women, we are far more likely to underestimate how much we eat, which means the chances of us accidentally overeating into a surplus is actually quite low. When it comes to eating more, it is literally just about adding one thing at a time. If you're currently skipping breakfast or feel that you just don't need it, start having it. If you notice yourself becoming more hungry in the afternoons, make yourself an extra snack. It doesn't have to be super complicated with the exact timing. When you're properly hydrated and well rested, your body will literally tell you when it needs more food, so lean into that. If you're someone who struggles with appetite or just feels out of touch with your hunger cues, it's likely you've been under-eating for quite a long time and your metabolism has down-regulated, meaning it has adapted your output to suit the energy consistently coming in, and it knows exactly how much it has to work with. If you're a chronic meal skipper and you allow yourself to have the meal, even if you don't necessarily feel like it will encourage your body to start releasing energy in areas where it has learned to become quite stingy. When it sees more energy coming in and you have more calories to work with, your energy is going to be so much better, your body systems and organs will function better, and your metabolism will naturally start increasing because more output will be occurring. And by continuing to build muscle and your glutes, you will propel it even further. So don't let fear of weight gain hold you back. Remember that muscle weighs more than fat, and when you're wanting to grow and build muscle, especially your glutes, that scale is naturally going to increase, and that is not a bad thing. There is a massive difference between weight gain and body fat gain, and the two result in a completely different look to your physique and composition. And those are the three main reasons why your progress is stalling. I hope you found this helpful and have more confidence and clarity in your approach going forward. If you have any questions about glute growth, please leave them in the comments and I would love to help you out. So that's all from me today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next week.